Homer Durham particularly was pushy on the social side, but we had lots of the same sort of academic push. Henry Luce and Claire Booth Luce, we sat at dinner with them. The Luces lived up in Biltmore Hotel region. They had a mansion up there, and we entertained them. You know, I never would have probably gotten close to them. Homer was pushing this kind of thing, relate yourself to the significant people. Homer was fun. He loved theater, he loved music. He liked musical theater, so he came to all the performances. And apparently enjoyed. Thumbprint was all over everything that was done. He pushed everything, and pushed it hard. I don't know how he got it done in the 10 years that he was here, but he was a real genius at this developmental sort of thing. He is a Mormon, as you know, and so he's caught at the dinner to which he invited us with the Luces, because of course her connection with the theater was my connection with the theater. We had a lot of busy times of that sort. For that reason, it was real nice. But he ran hard up against something that was perfectly obvious at the table, which is that Claire Booth Luce liked her liquor. She was a great drinker, and she would not go to dinner to a dinner invitation, which excluded liquor, and so she had been assured that she would drink liquor, and so Homer quite appropriately got up and toasted her in what he referred to as Adam's ale, which of course is a glass of water with an ice cube.
Did you know Hugh Downs?
No, and that's kind of interesting in itself, because he and I were in radio stations in the same state, about 200 miles separated. He was in Lima and I was in Akron in the same period of time. We're about the same age. And a perfect guy to do what he has done, which is become a kind of walking symbol of the sorts of attitudes you should have toward this sort of thing. Yeah, one of my first polite courtesy invitations to occupy a platform was to introduce the nephew of Winston Churchill, who was on a tour. And then it got loused up and somebody dropped the ball organizing the thing, and we wound up with a half-empty auditorium with a guy who should have, you know, he should have a big audience for him. He was a good speaker, good kid. Marvelous guy. But here I was suddenly, I'd just come into this place, and here I was up there on the platform facing the possibility of 3,000. I was a little threatened by that.
Where was it held, at Gammage?
Gammage Auditorium. I was here in the early days. They had built it, but it hadn't been used much. And they were still working out the use pattern, and I was involved because my folks used the carpenter shop, the place where we rigged the settings for plays, and that was the only place that was big enough to accommodate. They did some pretty ambitious things for a bunch of kids.
There was a funny story that came out of that. You know, Jimmy was a very popular janitor. He was in charge of Gammage during that period. And the governor was having a luncheon and using it on the stage. Everybody had gathered up there. And Jimmy came in about 2 o'clock and announced that they'd have to discontinue. That
Another group coming in. He's telling the governor he can't continue to use the stage facility for his own purposes.